The people who thrived and ended up way richer in the 2020 recession did these three things, and I was advising over 100 millionaires while this was happening. So this isn't some broad claim. This is just what I learned while I was watching them. If we are headed into a recession in 2025, you can use these to protect your money and take full advantage of this opportunity. Number one, they saved cash for two different reasons. One, to have a really solid emergency fund, which everyone should have anyways. And two, so they had a little bit of dry powder to use when things looked their worst. The most successful clients in 2020 had 6 months of expenses saved in cash, and not all of them had it easy. A third of them lost their jobs, and another third were already retired and living off of those savings that they were watching decline in value. Neither of these groups needed to dive into their investments or take out debt to make it through. Number two is a little bit sticky because some of the clients did pay off a good amount of debt when they realized that things were getting bad. There were several that I remember very specifically who tried to reduce their monthly expenses by as much as humanly possible. The problem is that these clients focused so much on paying off debt and lowering their living expenses and prepaying for things that they forgot to stack enough cash. And what ended up happening was that they couldn't pay for their lifestyle regardless of how low their expenses got. The winners saved cash first or already had the cash saved, so they got to use extra income to pay off high interest debt, any sort of buy now, pay later, or nagging monthly expenses, so that they were really nicely set up to deal with the recession. And number three, the people who made by far the most money coming out of the recession were the people who listened to their emotions, but not in the way you think. And technically, they acted on their emotions, which is the thing that everyone says you shouldn't do in a scary time in the market. I watched one client make over $1 million between March of 2020 and December of 2021, and I take no credit for doing that. I was an assistant financial planner at the time. I was not placing trades or anything like that. And when I asked him about this in his next quarterly meeting, he said that he decided to place the trade and put more money into his accounts at the moment where he was the most scared to do so. Specifically, he said, "I did it when every nerve in my body was screaming at me not to." He essentially took his moment of greatest fear and greatest stress and turned it into an investment indicator. He was the most greedy when he himself was the most fearful.